just had a quick one because when we're looking at that one house, I noticed the appliances were a little bit newer, and I wanted to know how you went about furnishing renters appliances, or do you have them furnish your own appliance? And do you normally buy new, or you just let the contractor pick out something if you have to replace it? How does that process
that's a great
work?
question. So essentially you're saying, how do you take care of and provide for the appropriate amount of appliances while not just, spending money willy-nilly? Yeah, that's a fair question. So the first thing is, this varies by market. It varies by market and it varies by sub-market. So within your market, you might have one area of town where the expectation is one thing, and one area of town where it's a completely different thing. Now, so think about in some areas, let's say there's a house that's built in the 50s. It's smaller, say it's a 3-bed, 1-bath, 980 square feet. Those types of homes, it's more commonly accepted to have a washer dryer unit in the kitchen, right? That's not very common in a home built in the 1990s, right? So that's what I mean by submarket, right? It can be dictated by submarket. So the reason I even bring up the market perspective is I rely a lot on my property manager to give me that feedback, right? They're the expert that I'm going to ask them that question. So when if it's a Burr property, if I'm going into a rehab and I want to try and understand what are my all-in costs, I need to know, what appliances am I providing? I'm going to provide a fridge. If I can get away with it, I don't want to provide a dishwasher because it's just something to break again. Dishwashers are just finicky. If there's already a dishwasher spot, I'll usually just have one in there. So I'll provide a dishwasher as well. I don't provide a microwave unless it's already built in a turnkey that I'm already buying, because they can get a countertop microwave really easily. And then I don't usually provide washer dryers unless the market says you really need to provide a washer dryer to get top dollar for this property. In the areas that I'm investing in my market, you don't really need to. What I will do though is, if it's a multi-unit property, I'll provide a cash pay option. So I'll provide, in fact, I'm in the process of with my property manager of installing a couple of these in a triplex, a quadplex, and a 7plex that I have, that it's essentially a coin pay, cash pay option, right? So they don't have to then buy a washer dryer if they don't want to, right? They don't have to go out and spend a couple $100 on it. They can just pay as they need, right? So that's one option. The other that I've done is in a single unit. This is a little bit more management intensive. So I would clarify with your property manager whether they're fine with this. But what I'll ask is, I'll say, I tell you what, I will provide a washer dryer for $25 extra of rent per month. All right. So it's not like a deposit you're getting back. It's $25 extra for the washer and $25 extra for the dryer. That's up to you. If that's valuable to you, perfect, fine. We'll find something. And then generally I'll get something that's, it's not going to be super nice, right? It's not going to be a brand new LG. It's going to cost a couple $100. It usually pays for itself in less than 6 months. So that's another thing that I'll do. But at that point, you've got to evaluate your return on attention, right? If you're putting your brain on really small things like that all the time, you're probably missing out on other options. But if you're just thinking about that for one property, those are 3 different options. Either just don't do it, don't put any washer dryers in there, or you can have a pay option if it's a multi-unit and there's maybe a maintenance space or a space for a cash pay option, or you can add it to their rent. Those are options specifically for washer dryers. So does that help?
No, it does, honestly. It really does, because I like you said, I tend to overthink some things, and and so I'll just add it into the mix. But yeah, if I can get away without putting in a washer or dryer, then I'm gonna do that, because there was a fridge that was left over in one of the properties. They said it could potentially be reused, but it also smelled kind of bad too.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know, okay, should I just do the fridge and stove and the rest of the appliances be themselves? So that's why I wanted to clear out. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. What to summarize, I would say I'd provide a fridge, or I would make sure the property has this. I'm not necessarily just buying it. If it comes with it, great. For example, for yours, if the fridge smells, when your team does make ready, make sure that they clean the fridge and they get it deep cleaned, right? If it still reeks after that, you probably need a new fridge, right? Just because
Right.
it's been sitting with rotted fish in it for 6 months or whatever it was, that the fridge is done, right? But I'm going to provide a fridge, a stove, and if there's a gap for, like, if it's designed for a dishwasher, I'll provide a dishwasher. The washer dryer is a market and submarket specific appliance that if I need to have it because it's expected in a rental like this, I'm going to end up losing money as far as my market value for renting is concerned. I'll provide those as well, but generally I don't.
Okay, cool. That helps out a lot.
Awesome. Sounds great.